Well, hey there, Miss Dani. How are you doing today? So good to see
Hey,
you.
it's nice to see you, Laura. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day up here in Michigan. So, yeah.
Well, absolutely. I'm so excited to be talking to you with you today about our co-authoring collaboration up until now. And you have put an amazing story in the book, which I'm so grateful for. And it's a story of facing fears and self-limiting beliefs and transforming your life, overcoming some things, some obstacles. So do me a favor, tell everybody who you are and where you are interviewing from today, where
Yeah.
you live. Mhm.
My name is Dani Atkins. Yes, I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I travel for work, so sometimes I'm not here. I'm a traveling consultant for Arthur Murray International, or I coach and coach dance, ballroom dancing, and I judge and perform, and it's lots of fun. And I do a lot of other things as well. I'm a very, very artsy, fartsy human.
You sure are. You're one of the most creative, um, inspired idea downloaders I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. You're also one of my very first VIP clients that committed to work with me for a year. And what a journey we've been on. I've seen so much transformation and expansion in your life. So tell everybody kind of how we met, a little bit of background, then we're going to get into some other things.
Yeah, so I had been considering finding a life coach. I'd gone to therapy and counseling before, and I did some research to kind of figure out like what the difference would be. And then when I discovered that life coach would be focused more on the forward progression, I was like, yeah, I've got to look for a life coach. And you know, when COVID hit and everything, it was a really really great time for introspection. And I was like, this is a really good time to be able to find a life coach right now to help me navigate through some of these feelings. So I went on Bark and I found you, and you were my very first life coach interview. In fact, that was the only one I needed. And I was like, there, I'm done. I found it. So yeah, that's how I found you.
It was such a great conversation, and I just remember just feeling like I'd met this wonderful soul that was so alive and so inspiring. And for those of y'all that don't know, Dani did explain some of what she does, but she is a highly awarded professional competition ballroom dancer who now teaches other people how to dance, and she lives there in Michigan, so it's really neat, and it's just been such a journey. I think we've known each other. We worked together for the better part of a year and a half, so we've been together a long time. And you're even expanding and moving on to some other things, and I just celebrate everything that you've got going in your life. So um, Dani, tell everyone about your amazing book that you wrote, because that was part of your dream
Yeah.
and your vision as we worked together. And
Hmm.
before you even contributed or we knew this was coming up, you completed one of your big dreams. Tell everybody about this amazing book and where they can get it, because I remember reading it back last summer and I was texting you going, Dani, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Everyone needs this book. So I'm going
Yeah.
to let you talk about that a little bit, please.
Yeah, so I'm so excited to have completed it because it's kind of a passion project. And so it was one of those notions that didn't really leave my mind. It was like, hey, you need to write this down. You need to write this down. You need to write it. So to me, it was like, it was a no-brainer. There might have been some fear blocks initially, but then I recognized the fact that like genius was speaking to me, or spirit was speaking to me versus my ego driving this, because I was like, no, actually, I think this is a good idea. And then I had some, actually, I had, when it's about a journey that I took about 4 years back, a personal journey through self development, self growth. And it goes through this process of what I call the 8 week hero challenge. And to kind of get me out of a victimhood mentality. And I just absolutely love it. Yeah. And this is what it looks like. So it looks super serious and cool, but I love it because well, like I said, it's a passion project, and it really, to me, this was like a huge part of my life, of where I discovered that I had control of how my life, or how the things around me looked to me, my perspective. I had control of that more than like they could just dictate what I felt. So it was really fantastic. So I went from like victim to hero, and that was like my goal. That was like, I was very laser focused with these 8 weeks and different exercises. And so I wrote them down. The book came out this year, So it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any major bookseller online. And so you can get that, of course, hardcover, paperback, or ebook.
I love it so much. And so, to be clear, I want to just make sure we get it out there because it is so, so good. Like I said, when I first read it, I was like, and I always knew what a great writer she is. She's a consummate journaler. Um, but it's called, tell everybody the name again, and you can, and that's what it looks like. And her name
No,
is
that's what
Daniel
it looks like.
Atkins.
It's called No Cape Necessary. And the subtitle is Saving Yourself from Destructive Patterns and Finding Your Inner Superhero. So, yeah.
So y'all grab that book if you're looking for a good read, or if you like a digital book, you can get it in digital. Okay, thank you for that. I wanted to make sure that we,
Thank you.
of course, get that in there. Okay, so um, as just one little thing that kind of segues into this new endeavor where we're co-authoring, as we work together, what was one or two of the major transformational shifts that you realized was taking place in your life?
Well, actually, you helped me or directed me to a great resource to help me write that and kind of find the momentum to get that going, and also gave me the empowerment to figure out how to get it published. And once I figured out how to get it published, I was like, oh wow, this was easy. Like, how much more accessible is like the world to me now that I know that writing a book and getting it published is actually really easy. And so that was a huge shift in perspective, because now, when I look at my bigger dreams and they look a little intimidating or frightening, I just have to remind myself I went through something that looked really intimidating and frightening before. And it was so simple. And there's always people that want to help you. And there's amazing like companies that can help you get everything organized. So I don't know. I was just so, that was like the biggest takeaway from for me, is that just everything is within reach as long as you just keep focused on the vision, and like that's what you want, go for it.
Absolutely. Solid advice. Absolutely. And I've had the privilege and the honor of watching it play out in your life as you design and don't default. And you've done beautifully at it. Okay. Let's talk about our collaborative efforts. So November the 5th, up until now, our co-author journey together, us and I want to say about 40 other people have gotten together, and we have created this amazing book of inspirational stories, overcoming fear, facing self-sabotaging behaviors or limiting beliefs, and overcoming it with an abundance of success or results in that journey. So, um, tell everybody a little bit about the story that you submitted for the book. Your story will be an entire chapter unto itself. Tell everybody about the story and what made you want to share it. Who is the person you were writing the story for?
I am writing that. When I wrote that chapter, of course, I went through very many iterations of ideas. And then I realized that what I was celebrating personally in my life is this discovery of who I really am, and opposed to who I thought I was. And so, really, the chapter is called The Unlearning of Unhappiness, because I grew up believing I was depressed, and I grew up believing I was told by a couple people, not professionals, but I told from people from my family, because it ran in my family, that I had depression and that I'd probably have to end up on medication to really feel authentic happiness, basically. And it really upset me because I was 11 when I first heard that, and I was probably in a fluctuation of hormones, anyways. And I was like, why are you telling this to me? And I forgive them for that, because I honestly think that they were just trying to be like, it's not your fault. So I forgive them. I understand they had good intentions with it, but I went through my life kind of feeling mopey. In high school, I was angsty. I was like very into very dark poetry and music, and I think that's kind of where that like the artsiness I kind of started to like develop, was because I was like, this is how I express myself. And so it was funny because I knew I liked to dance, but I felt like in this moment of like how to tell the world that I'm here and that I matter, despite the feeling that I didn't matter. Like I had that need And when I started really getting into dance, I felt like that was the way I could express it. And then there's other ways where I started to develop like this realization of like, actually, I find like authentic happiness here. And I find that can feel like actually that's a part of me and that feels familiar. So don't tell me that's not me, you know? And so I started to uncover these little things and qualities in myself and my life. And then with my first counselor, she's like, I kind of talked about my woes, and she was like, "Oh yeah, actually, no, it just sounds like you just have a lot of inner chatter. We can work."
Mhm.
And I was like, "I'm okay. Like I don't need medication." She's like, "Well, not yet. I mean, we can see, but I think you're going to be fine if we do some mindset training." And so just that whole shift really opened my world up. And
I bet.
I mean, honestly, I discovered that I'm a naturally happy person. And anybody that you talk to nowadays that knows me, if they heard that I like literally thought I was just like hopelessly depressed, and that was where my mindset, they probably laugh and be like, that does not make sense. That's not Dani.
Exactly. And that's what we call in our world is it doesn't resonate, right? So,
Right.
okay, so what are you looking forward to most about the book launch in November?
Well, first of all, I love that it's a very, very easy date to remember. November, or remember the 5th of November.
That's true.
That's really exciting for
Love it.
For another thing, I think it's really, really cool that, everybody's gonna, the collaborators, like, will get to have a chance to meet during the launch, and that's really fantastic. I'm excited personally about the book itself. I'm really, really excited because I know how the title spoke to me when I was doing my iterations of ideas and I saw the cover, and that was kind of what shifted, like for me, like this is the idea that I go with because I saw the cover, and then I saw and with the title over it, and I was like, oh, okay, now it's very clear to me what I need to write about. So I'm really excited to see how everybody else translated that within themselves. And I cannot wait to hear their stories. And I'm just so, so thrilled that I get to be a part of that.
Well, I'm so honored that you're a part of it, and I can tell you I've read your story several times, and it's just so good. I know it's going to speak to so many people because there's so many people out there that have bought into the identity of either anxiety disorder or depression, and we're not here to say that that doesn't exist, but
Right.
we I am here to say that this story will inspire you and help encourage you that there is a way that you can live that is not overwhelmed by that. You can be empowered in another way to break free and transform your life. So I'm so excited about all the many people that your story is going to reach. And I'm just so grateful that you came in and that you contributed it because I just think I think you're pretty awesome. So
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's pretty awesome too.
oh, thank you, Miss Dani. Well, thank you for spending your time with me today. Thank you for doing this interview. And I just wish you all the best on your book. And then as we get together on this book, us spending more time together, we've got a book tour coming. And I look forward to coming to Michigan and sitting at the Barnes and Noble and signing books with you.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It will. Well, you have a wonderful day.
You.
Everyone, the book is launching November 5th. So be ready. Watch your social media and watch for more info to come. Thanks, Dani. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.